Hey, this is Steampunk Star Raisin of AmberStreet.com, and it is the day after Dragoncon as I'm recording this. I'm getting ready to check out of the hotel, and I'll quote Charles Dickens here. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times, but really, overall, it started out bad. But then as I started, I was really sick with a sinus infection. It wasn't COVID, it wasn't TB, it wasn't cancer, it was just a severe excuse me. I'm still recovering from it a little bit, but anyway, I feel so much better. I'm so much more mentally energized. Dragoncon, these are my people. This is my society that I feel a part of. It's my home away from home. And I had a blast. I almost couldn't make it because I got really sick and was coughing up a little bit of blood, but then I got on antibiotics, and then I got an inhaler and Flonase, and despite it being really hot and humid, which wore me down a little bit at DragonCon, this was the most humid and hottest year on record for this time of year, Labor Day weekend. But despite all that, I had a blast hanging out with Jason. I reconnected with Jason, reestablished my friendship there, and he did a really good job providing me a USB memory stick with his footage for AmberStreet.com. And Lee, my friend Lee, helped be in a grip holding the microphone sometimes when I was recording, doing interviews. So, and he helped out with logistics and transportation. So AmberStreet.com is a team of three of us that go to DragonCon every year, and I will definitely go again next year. But overall summary, I did get some interesting comic books, stuff that I've seen before that I've always wanted to get, and then I'll save the weird stuff for last. I got a copy of Uncanny X-Men 251. This was originally not considered a key issue, but now it is because there's a scene in the Deadpool and Wolverine movie where there's a variant version of Wolverine crucified on an X. And then I've always wanted to get a copy of this. This is Wolverine issue 1 in near mint condition from 1988. And this is the second Wolverine series, but the first in his permanent ongoing series, because the series from 1982 was a limited 4-issue run. This was his first major ongoing run. So that was a nice pickup there, but those are relatively common, slightly less common in near mint, but you see them all the time at conventions, but they're still widely sought after and slightly valuable books. But this was a really good pickup. I got a Silver Age Spider-Man. You can never go wrong with Silver Age Spider-Man. This is one of the Silver Age Spider-Man, even this is not a key, but even non-keys, because it's from the 60s, and if you get it in mid to high grade, this presents really nicely. This at first glance kind of looks like near mint, but it's got Marvel chipping on the corner, and it's got some foxing. So I would say this is probably a very good find, but it looks much higher grade than that. If it wasn't for the chip, it would probably be like a very fine. But $40 for Silver Age Spider-Man. In LA, I can't get Silver Age Spider-Man this cheap. They usually want like $100 for equivalent comic in this grade. Another Silver Age Spider-Man. This is late Silver Age. I think this might be like 1969. Again, not a key, but presents really nicely. I would say this was probably fine, very fine, and I only paid $20. I don't know why this was so cheap. I think I went to this dealer. He'd been going to DragonCon year after year. I'd seen him before. I think he just didn't update his sticker. I think he had a lot of old inventory that he brought up to replace inventory sold. So I lucked out there. So Spider-Man issue 73 in like maybe fine, very fine. It's probably a 7.0. Um, you can't beat that for 20 bucks, man. Even if it is non-key. Now, this was the biggest grail of the night. I'll often see this book at conventions in like very fine near mint condition going for thousands and thousands of dollars. This is really beat up. I would say this is probably good minus, or actually I would say this is if this was sent to CGC, I would say it's a 1.5. It's got a lot of Marvel chipping going on. And basically, with all the Marvel chipping going on, it's missing some pieces of the cover on top, and it's got a big chunk out of the side. I don't know. It's probably a 1.5, or maybe, actually, no, I would say this is a fair. I would say this is a 1.0, but it's hard to find early Silver Age Spider-Man this old from like 1964 in any grade. I think it's 1964. It's a 12 center. As you can see, it's missing a little chunk up there, but it relatively presents really nicely. Yeah, so I would say it's probably a fair. I just reevaluated it looking at it again. This is Amazing Spider-Man 16, and this is a key issue. It's the first meeting of Daredevil and Spider-Man, and it's also the fourth appearance of Daredevil. So semi-Daredevil key, and definitely a major key for Spider-Man. First meeting of Daredevil and Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 16. You normally can't get this for 40 bucks. That's amazing. Early Silver Age Spider-Man for 40 bucks. I couldn't pass on it. Yeah, it's beat up. It's missing some pieces, but look at that. It's vintage, man. It's amazing vintage. It's amazing this thing survived all these years. This was a really good pickup. I haggled the guy down to 25 bucks. Like, again, comic book dealers in LA, they for some reason, like, they'll sell like Tales of Suspense in like very good condition, even a non-key, and they'll want like 80 bucks for it. I haggled this down to 25 bucks. This is Tales of Suspense 99. This was the last Iron Man Captain America issue before they canceled it, and they gave everybody they gave Captain America and Iron Man their own solo series. And I would say this is probably near mint. It's amazing that I got this for 25 bucks. Silver Age Iron Man Tales of Suspense from 1968 in near mint. Even though it's not a key, it's still pretty damn cool, and it's amazing that it survived in near mint. 25 bucks for Silver Age Iron Man in near mint. Iron Man comics are heating up again because Robert Downey Jr.'s returned to play Doctor Doom, Iron Man variant. This was the weirdest find of the night. I had never heard of this before. I found a different category of a CGC label. I've been to shows in LA. These are becoming quite scarce and rare, and I had to educate myself on it. I've never heard of it. This is a CGC modern grade red label. These were with early days of CGC between like 1999 and 2001. Anything after 1975 that they considered modern, they would give a red label. Most people, and these were more conservatively graded than today. As you can see here, I have an Amazing Spider-Man 192, CGC Near Mint 9.4. This was graded in 1999, and there's not many red label, especially Spider-Man. This is Bronze Age Spider-Man. Not really a key. No, it's not a key, but it is a near mint, and a lot of people will buy these and crack it open, and you'll get a universal grade if you get it regraded. But yeah, with the older CGC 9.4 modern red label, there's a good chance you might get a 9.8. This looks like a 9.8 almost. It's I would say it's at least a 9.6. but you can't, man, you can't really beat that, man. And it's really bizarre. CGC Red Label. Another CGC, I got to make it quick. Another CGC Red Label. This is actually a key. This is a very fine 8.0. It was graded in 1999. First appearance of Glory Grant. I would say, looking at it, if it had a clean in the press, this would probably get like a 9.4. I don't really see any creases or defects in it. Like I said, in the early days when they did the red label, CGC was a lot more picky with their grading than they are today. But yeah, Amazing Spider-Man 140 from 1975. CGC Very Fine 8.0. First appearance of Glory Grant. The amazing thing, I was able to haggle the guy down to $70 for a CGC V8. I mean, and a key Bronze Age Spider-Man issue. And this one, I already showed this earlier, but the other Amazing Spider-Man 192, not a key issue, CGC 9.4, $50. $50 for a near mint Bronze Age Spider-Man CGC Red Label. All right, that's it. I gotta go. I gotta get ready, catch my flight. You have a nice day, and I'll see you 25 billion years. I will.